What you see in front of you on this table is a milking stool that's probably approaching 100 years old. It was given to my uncle Raymond when he got out of the World War II by his mother-in-law. So we don't know how old it was. What you're seeing there is some hammer marks, some blood stains, and various other scratches. This thing is in terrible shape. About 42 years ago, he gave this milking stool to his great nephew, who was about 2 at the time. He loved to pick it up and wag it around and play with it, so he just gave it to him. And over the years, it just kind of fell apart. As you can see, an attempt was made to try to repair this thing. And so that's what I'm going to try to do today. Taking these apart is always the hardest part. Well, really, everything's hard in this. Those cross members were in there pretty good with some Gorilla Glue on some parts of it, and some parts it just came out so easy. If you're ever at Lowe's or Home Depot and you see someone reaching for the Gorilla expanding foam glue, go up to them and put your hand on their shoulder and say, "Brother, I'm going to do you a favor today. Don't buy this stuff." Sometimes on any glue, especially older glue, you apply a little heat, you can make the thing give up, and you can finally get it loose. You can see there I left a burn mark that I'll have to go back and sand over later. Eureka! These are some Craftsman chisels that belong to my father, and it was an honor to use them to help fix his brother's stool there. This expanding foam was so easy to come off of those chisels. There's no way that it's holding anything. It's not a good glue to use, in my opinion. Leave some comments if you love it, but I really can't see a purpose for it. Of course, there was a lot of glue stuck in the inside of it, and I'm not going to bore you with showing every single hole, but Every single hole had to have it clawed out. What I'm doing here is trying to determine at what angle the splay is on these legs. So I took some of those cross members that fit perfect in that hole, and I'm trying to figure out just exactly how I'm going to drill the hole with a splay. So what I did was, when I determined the splay, I transferred it to this other piece of wood, and I'm going to center that piece of that hole over the other hole and clamp it down. And it's going to give me a guide. Once you get the hole started, it will kind of guide itself. Those legs were broken off inside, so I didn't have a choice except to cut the ends off. And I'll tell you, even though the video didn't come out great, I'll tell you exactly how I've repaired these. I'm trying to cut that off right where the shoulder meets that 3/4 inch bevel. And I made these dowels and I glued them on, and didn't have footage of that. But they're oak dowels, and the best I could tell, these legs were also oak, even though it looked like the seat was some very tight grained pine. This is just to give it a little more stability. All of this will be hidden up inside the chair seat. And Bob's your uncle. Or actually, Raymond is your uncle. These dents were terrible. we're going to do here is I'm going to try to get some moisture down in each one of those dents and see if we can get them to raise back up. Sometimes compressed wood fibers will pop back up if you'll put some moisture on it and some steam. I ended up doing this 3 times, and it did really good on the small dents, and it raised that deepest dent up probably more than 50%. So it was less sanding I had to do on it. Some of those little marks you see there, you can see the mark, but you barely can feel the dent anymore. It's really lifted it up. Everyone's favorite thing to do is sand. I'm joking, I hate it. This Bosch sander has a Rotex mode, and that's what I just clicked it in. And it locks in a gear. And you can really take some wood off of that. Do a little hand sanding. I think it had a little bit of varnish on it, and that blood stain, I got most of it out. There's still some later after you put a finish on it or some stain on it, it pops back up. I took a thick foam pad on the bottom of my sander where I could work around these edges, and it would kind of contour it to them. Okay, all sanded. The legs were by far the hardest thing to sand, and they had this green mildew on them, and you can still see a little. No matter what I used, even bleach, I couldn't get it off. I'm using Titebond 3 here because of the open time. You have a lot of time to work when you use Titebond 3. It doesn't set up very fast, and it's a really good glue for moisture. It said it's waterproof. I'd already put this thing together dry just to make sure I knew what went where, and when I finally had everything figured out, I labeled it all. And that's the little tape you see. I'm very messy with my glue. if this were yellow glue, just your Type Bond original, I would be in a panic mode right now because that stuff sets up very fast. And no, I didn't wipe that glue on my pants. I had a wet cloth there nearby me. Okay, with the magic of editing, this thing is together. I found out if you kind of rock that thing back and forth, it will set display itself. Okay, I decided not to stain this because it's two different varieties of wood. It's oak and it's pine, and I was a little afraid of it. So I'm using some trans tint, and this is a dye. You can mix it with the water or alcohol, and I did not have any alcohol with me, so I used water and it turned out great. I tried a test part and it was just too light. I had to go back and add more tint to it because my goal was to get it something in the walnut range, like a medium walnut. Even though it's not a stain, it's a dye, you still want to try to use your brush work the same way, especially if you're not going to worry about wiping it off so much with a cloth. If you're going to take a dry brush and wipe the excess off. I'm using a lacquer here for several reasons. It dries fast. Lacquer sticks to lacquer. You don't have to sand between coats. Also, this will be a light duty item. Nobody's going to be using this for milking a cow anymore. This will be set up in my nephew's house for a display. He told me one day he's going to hand it down to his daughter. If you're using lacquer, this stuff is terribly toxic. Make sure you're using some good, a good mask. And that's finished product. He really liked it. Thanks so much for watching.